What's up, Celtics Nation? There's a lot going on right now in the world of Boston basketball, and we seriously need to talk. If you've been watching the playoffs closely, especially if you bleed green, you probably noticed something off. Jason Tatum, the face of this franchise, our All-NBA powerhouse, might be dealing with more than just a cold streak. His wrist injury, yeah, that same one from Game 1, could be a way bigger deal than anybody initially thought. Let's rewind for a second. In the opening matchup of Boston's playoff run, Tatum took a hit that resulted in a bone bruise to his shooting wrist. Now, that kind of injury doesn't always scream urgency like a torn ligament or a broken bone, but make no mistake, bone bruises can be nasty. Painful, slow to heal, and tricky to manage, especially when you're playing through them night after night in high-intensity postseason games. Tatum ended up sitting out Game 2 against the Orlando Magic, and while that raised some eyebrows, the panic didn't last long. He came back the following game with his wrist heavily wrapped and still went out there looking like a man on a mission. Against Orlando, he looked every bit the superstar Celtics fans have come to depend on. Over 4 games, Tatum was putting up insane numbers, averaging over 31 points, grabbing double-digit rebounds, and dishing out assists like a true floor general. From deep, he was connecting on over 36% of his shots, and inside the arc, he was hitting half of them. Those are the kind of stats that quiet any doubts real fast. People stopped talking about the injury. The Celtics looked like a team ready to make a deep run. And Tatum, he looked locked in. But now things are shifting, and not in a good way. Fast forward to the Eastern Conference semifinals, and suddenly the rhythm is off. Tatum's performance has dipped hard, and it's impossible not to notice. In the first 2 games against the New York Knicks, the numbers tell a completely different story. Instead of leading the charge with over 30 a night, he's down to just 18 points per game. Sure, he's still contributing in other areas, pulling down 15 boards a night and handing out assists, but the offensive efficiency just isn't there. And here's where things get concerning. His shooting is taking a nosedive. Tatum is hitting only 25% of his attempts from beyond the arc and under 32% from inside the line. That's not just a cold night. That's a trend. That's something deeper. That's the kind of dip that makes you wonder what's really going on behind the scenes. You don't just drop from elite scoring performances to pedestrian numbers without a reason. This isn't just a guy having an off week. And let's be real, nobody forgets how to shoot overnight. There has to be a physical reason behind it. All signs point back to that wrist. Maybe the pain never fully went away. Maybe it's been getting worse with each game. With the playoffs packed so tightly, there's barely any time to rest, let alone recover from an injury that messes with your shooting motion. And if that's the case, it changes everything. Because now, the Celtics aren't just trying to win a series, they're trying to do it while their top guy might be playing up 50 or 60%. You can see it in his movements. There's a hesitation in his game that wasn't there before. He's not attacking the rim with the same authority, not pulling up with the same confidence. And when you're going up against a team like the Knicks, known for their size and physicality, you need every ounce of explosiveness and aggression. So the question is, what's really happening with Tatum? Is he pushing through the pain because he wants to be there for his team, even if it costs him his usual dominance? Is the coaching staff downplaying the severity to keep opponents guessing? Or is this one of those situations where the injury looked manageable at first, but has slowly spiraled into something more serious? Whatever the case, the timing couldn't be worse. The Celtics need Tatum at his best right now, not just for stats or highlight plays, but for leadership. He's the engine that drives this team, and if he's not firing on all cylinders, the entire system starts to sputter. Boston has enough depth and talent to hang in games. But to take over a series? To beat a gritty physical squad like New York? That takes a superstar leading the charge. And here's the tricky part. If he's not close to 100%, maybe the best move is to take a step back. Sit a game. Let that wrist rest. Because forcing it, playing through pain without being able to contribute at your full potential can sometimes hurt more than help. It's a brutal call to make, especially on this stage, but long-term success might depend on short-term sacrifice. Right now, Celtics fans are left searching for answers. What happened to the Tatum we saw against Orlando? Where's the guy who lit up defenses and carried the team on his back? Is this just a slump, or is there more going on than we're being told? Because if this wrist injury is truly the root of the problem, it could be the deciding factor in Boston's entire playoff journey. And that's something nobody was prepared for. Now, let's not forget what kind of pressure this moment creates. Not just for Tatum, but for the entire Celtics roster, coaching staff, and fan base. When your best player isn't performing at the level everyone's used to, the entire game plan starts to wobble. And when that drop-off in performance is paired with whispers of a lingering injury, suddenly the narrative changes. It's no longer about matchups or tactics. It's about survival, and you can feel that energy shifting. There's tension in the air. The confidence that was there just a week ago is now mixed with concern. Celtics fans are watching each possession with more scrutiny. Every missed shot, every moment of hesitation from Tatum gets magnified. Is it the wrist? Is it fatigue? Is it just the Knicks defense doing its job? Or is the reality that Tatum's not physically capable of being the same guy he was even a few days ago? When you play through pain, especially at this level, it's not just about grit. Sure, toughness matters. And no one's questioning Tatum's will to compete. He's a warrior out there. But sometimes pain changes the way you move, the way you shoot, even the way you think on the floor. You second-guess decisions you would normally make in a split second. You hesitate just enough for the defense to close the gap. And in the playoffs, that split second is everything. And here's the irony. If Tatum wasn't such a gifted scorer and didn't have that all-NBA pedigree, maybe people would be more forgiving. But when you're known for being a top 5 guy in the league, the expectations are sky high. People want dominance. They want 30-plus points, clutch buckets, and fourth-quarter takeovers. Anything less starts feeling like a failure, even if there's a legitimate injury behind it. Let's not sugarcoat it. This series against the Knicks is turning into a war. New York is bringing physicality, effort, and intensity on every possession. They're crashing the boards, they're defending with purpose, and they're daring the Celtics to beat them in the half court. If your best player is limited in any way, especially in his shooting hand, then every possession becomes harder, every decision more complicated. That's why so much is riding on how the Celtics handle this situation moving forward. Do they let Tatum continue to push through it and hope he plays himself back into rhythm? Or do they consider the bigger picture and make the tough call to give him a break, even if it means sitting a game during a critical playoff series? Because if the risk keeps deteriorating, it's not just this round that's in danger, it's the entire postseason run. One wrong move, one awkward fall, one unnecessary minute on the court could make things worse. And this isn't just a coaching decision. This is about trust. Tatum has to trust his body. The medical staff has to be honest about what they're seeing, and the team has to trust that they can win, even without their star at full strength. That's not easy. When your leader is out there, even if he's hurting, it sends a message of resilience. But sometimes, the strongest message is knowing when to step back and allow your teammates to carry the load while you heal. Let's not forget, this is the same Jason Tatum who's carried this team through countless battles. He's no stranger to the big stage. But even legends need help sometimes. Even franchise players hit a wall. And right now, all signs point to Tatum hitting his. The Celtics need to make sure they're not pushing him beyond that point. And there's also the mental side of all this. When you're used to dominating and suddenly your shots aren't falling, your rhythm's off, and your body isn't cooperating, that frustration builds fast. You start to question your own game. It becomes mental just as much as physical. And when the pressure of the playoffs is layered on top of that, it becomes a mountain to climb. And the Celtics? They're not just watching. They're feeling it. Teammates start pressing. Role players try to do too much. The offense gets stagnant. The defense starts to slip. It's a domino effect, and it all starts at the top. That's why this isn't just about one guy and his wrist. It's about the entire team's ability to adapt and respond when adversity hits. Boston has always prided itself on being a tough, gritty, no-excuses team. That mentality is part of the franchise's DNA. But there's a difference between being tough and being smart. Sometimes the smartest thing you can do is admit that something's not right and take the necessary steps to fix it, even if that means sitting your best player. If the Celtics are going to survive this series and maybe even make a run to the finals, they need a version of Tatum that can dominate, not just exist on the floor. If that version isn't available right now, then the focus has to shift. Lean more on Brown. Let White cook. Get creative with Horford. Trust your depth. This team is more than just one player, but they have to prove that now more than ever. And Tatum? He owes it to himself, his teammates, and the fans to be honest about how he's feeling. If he's able to fight through this and return to form, that's the kind of story that becomes legendary. But if pushing too hard makes things worse, the risk is far greater than one playoff loss. It's about his future. It's about the legacy he's building. And it's about making sure this team has a real shot, not just this year, but for years to come. Right now, we're all watching closely. Every possession, every shot, every time he grabs that wrist or winces after contact, we're holding our breath. Because deep down, we know what's at stake. The Celtics are good, really good, but their ceiling is tied directly to how close to full strength Tatum can be. If he turns a corner and gets back to playing like the Tatum we all know, Boston becomes dangerous again. But if not, the road ahead just got a whole lot harder. This series isn't over. Far from it. But if the Celtics want to flip the script, they'll need clarity. Clarity about their star players' health, clarity in their game plan, and clarity in their approach. Because right now, everything hinges on one risk and one decision. Fight through or shut it down. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In a move that has taken the NBA by storm, Bobby Portis has officially signed with the Boston Celtics, marking the beginning of a new chapter in his illustrious career. Known for his intensity, scoring ability, and leadership, Portis brings a wealth of experience to a team that is already loaded with talent. The Celtics, who are consistently considered one of the favorites in the Eastern Conference, have strengthened their roster with this new addition, signaling their intent to remain at the top of the league. Portis, who gained national attention for his role in the Milwaukee Bucks' 2021 championship run, is now set to bring his passion and energy to Boston. The 6'9" forward has carved out a reputation as a versatile player capable of making an impact both on the offensive and defensive ends. His unique blend of skills, including his ability to stretch the floor with three-point shooting and his toughness in the paint, makes him a perfect fit for the Celtics' fast-paced, modern style of play. Over the years, Portis has evolved from a high-energy, raw talent into a polished and effective role player. His contributions during the Bucks' postseason journey were nothing short of impressive, as he delivered crucial performances that helped secure the team's first title in 50 years. Portis' fiery attitude and relentless work ethic were infectious, quickly making him a fan favorite in Milwaukee. His passion for the game is undeniable, and he's expected to bring that same fervor to TD Garden, where Celtics fans are known for their unwavering support. For the Celtics, adding a player like Portis was a strategic move to bolster their depth and versatility. With the likes of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown already leading the charge for Boston, the team needed someone who could complement their star power while providing a strong presence off the bench. Portis fills this role perfectly, offering both scoring and defense when needed. His ability to provide instant offense in a variety of ways, whether it's as a stretch forward or in the paint, will give head coach Joe Mazzulla more options to work with throughout the season. The Celtics have always been a franchise that prides itself on championship aspirations. And with his latest acquisition, they are signaling that they are more determined than ever to reclaim the NBA throne. The addition of Portis adds both depth and toughness to a squad that already has one of the most dynamic starting lineups in the league. As the season progresses, it will be interesting to see how Portis meshes with his new teammates and how his energy and veteran presence help propel Boston to new heights. In a league where competition is fiercer than ever, the Celtics' acquisition of Bobby Portis demonstrates their commitment to building a roster capable of winning it all. As the 2025 season unfolds, fans of the team will no doubt be eager to see how Portis fits into the Celtics' plans for championship glory. One thing is certain, his presence on the court will only add to the excitement surrounding one of the NBA's most storied franchises. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.